St. Clair Drake was born January 2, 1911 in Suffolk, Virginia. In 1931, Drake graduated from Hampton Institute with a BS degree in biology, before studying peace and race relations at the Quaker Graduate School in Pennsylvania. While scholarship and activism are viewed as independent entities, Drake harmonized the two, becoming both an expert of and contributor to the liberation of the African diaspora. In 1935, Drake was invited by Allison Davis, his former mentor at Hampton Institute, to work in Natchez, Mississippi as an interviewer for the research project he and Belay and Mary Gardner were working on for their book entitled Deep South. In this book, Drake interviewed lower-class black residents in Mississippi, whilst Davis and his wife concentrated on the black upper classes. This study eventually showed how class and caste interact simultaneously, formulating perspectives that would challenge and change the racist ideologies of the status quo. At the same time, Drake became a professor of anthropology at Dillard University in New Orleans and subsequently enrolled in the graduate program at the University of Chicago. Here he worked with eminent sociologist Horace R. Caton Jr., resulting with the 1945 publication of his seminal work, Black Metropolis, a landmark study of segregation, poverty, and discrimination in Chicago's South Side ghetto of Bronzeville. In 1946, Drake became assistant professor of sociology and one of the first black faculty members at Roosevelt University. During his time, he created one of the first African American studies programs in the US, and the Roosevelt University has since dedicated the St. Clair Drake Center for African and African American Studies to his memory. This center is committed to documenting and exploring the contributions, challenges, and conditions of African and African American communities. Drake taught there for 23 years before leaving in 1968 for Stanford to chair the African American Studies program at a time of campus protests which occurred over the creation of such centers. Between 1987 and 1990, whilst at Stanford, he published the two-volume Black Folk Here and There, an exploration of white racism and the black experience written in the Vindicationist tradition. Outside of academia, Drake also served as an advisor to President Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, a region and part of the continent he had a strong commitment to in education and activism. As Willie L. Baber describes, he was interested in destroying racial caste and in liberating people of African descent anywhere in the world. St. Clair Drake died at the age of 79 in Palo Alto, California on June 21, 1990.
She will